I don't know
If I
if
told
they would or
people,
not, because
if
I
I
don't
told
think
people today that I had a better drop kick than 95% of the people on the roster, I'm guessing some people are going to remember I had a pretty sweet drop kick. I haven't been on TV in 20 years.
You did have a very good drop kick. The very that.
I would
A lot of guys
suspect.
don't. What happened to the drop kick these days? A good drop kick looks good. It really does that anymore. It doesn't seem like.
There's several of them on the show.
It was all over the Omega Okada match. There's some good ones.
Yeah, he's got an incredible one. And that's when that's another thing I liked about that match is when you hit a guy with a great looking drop kick, it looks like it's supposed to hurt. You know what you did. They say they sold it. So, but yeah, but in summation, with regards to that match, I mean, I think that's why that match stood out. It wasn't because of the athleticism and the spots he did. To me personally, it was because they sold better than most of the guys do these days, and that's why I thought it was a really good.
As we're doing this, I was trying to find your Japan match with Tokyo Magnum. Now, what I've got here is on YouTube, Dancing Fools, Alex Wright, Disco Inferno, Tokyo Magnum. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that was in WCW.
Oh, okay.
It was a Toriumon match. Lance, I want to bring up something you said on last week's show.
Okay.
About when you had the show you did with Alvarez. Was that last week's or the week before?
That was last week.
It was the last week with Alvarez. Okay. And there was categorically, I have to point out something, and maybe it's. I'm not saying that you said it an accurate thing because it was inaccurate, but I will say this: the story that you told about how that we were like just coming up with your stuff on the fly, that like booked you like the day of the show to beat Vito or something, like when we were giving you all three belts. Okay, for the record, all of those decisions were made in the booking meeting. Whatever Vito told you, okay, may not have been an accurate interpretation of what he had been told was going to happen and him trying to spin something with you. So like that story that you told where Vito said he came up to you and said, hey, we're supposed to do this, we're supposed to do that, we're supposed to that was not that was not accurate because we 100% each week your stuff was cut and dry. It was booked and ready
Each week, so it was
never
done
your stuff
hours before the show. You were booking it each week, so you were booking it week to week.
No, when we'd finish TV on Tuesday, we'd go back to Atlanta and we'd meet on Wednesday.
But that's
come back
booking
on
week
Monday.
to week. The one show's finished, and then you decide for the next. That's last minute booking, Disco.
Yeah, but that's organic, and it was sometimes organic works.
No, long-term booking is where you have a vision, a direction, not just an idea of okay, what can we do on the next show?
Dude, organic is a nice way of saying unorganized.
No.
Mm-hmm. You just see what grows. Oh, it's organic.
What do you think? Do you think they had when the WWE threw Rocky Maivia out on the when they put The Rock on TV originally as a babyface, that the long-term plan was The Rock?
But
things change and something happens.
Someone else booking short-term is not justification for your booking short-term.
Yeah, but you're talking about new guys.
But we talked, and you didn't get to hear it.
You were a new character. We don't have like a long-term plan for a new character. We just had like, oh, hey, let's get this guy over.
The long-term
plan, pushing this guy.
But you need to have a long-term plan. That's what booking is all about. The term booking, again, to do it properly, you have a long-term goal and you book backwards. Now, you may vary slightly in the degree that which you go, but you don't just, that show's over, let's come up with an idea for the next one. Because, again, when you write a story, and I know authors that write books, it's like they don't just start with chapter 1 and see where the show ends up. It's like, no, they've got a plot, they've got an idea. As they write, things may change and vary, but there's a long-term goal. Planning on Wednesday for the next week is week to week. That's last-minute booking.
Glenn, to what extent organic booking contributed to putting the biggest company in the world out of business and costing all of the boys money?
Well, first of all, we didn't put the company out of business. Okay, the company was and this is the biggest fallacy, is that WCW was dead and buried before Russo ever came and started writing. The ratings stunk.
I never mentioned Russo.
Ratings isn't the issue, and that's the problem. Revenue was the issue. They canceled it because it was losing money, not because of the ratings. And your week-to-week booking was all just, we need ratings, we need ratings. You weren't getting paid for your rights fees. You were a company that needed to make money. And if you had long-term planning, maybe some of this shit would have drawn, and then they wouldn't have lost so much money. That's why WCW died.
No, this is where you have to understand. If you're given the Russo's contract, him and Ed were paid on incentives based on television ratings. Period. Okay. So if you're given a writing job, what are you going to write for?
I'm going to write.
So those are some alternate facts, but
no. We can argue that was not a good plan to give a booker that type of incentive-based program. But if I'm going to write TV, and on this week I need to increase my ratings, I'm trying to write a television show that's going to increase the ratings because that's how I'm getting paid.
But again, you're looking week to week. See, I would look long term and go, you know what? If I keep this company in business, I get a job for several years, not looking at a short-term carrot dangled in front of me with a bonus incentive for a pop on a segment. It's not about cheap pops. It's about staying in the business long term and making money. And if people were looking at it smart, it's like this company needs to make money so I can continue to collect a paycheck, not looking for a short-term incentive.
Yeah, but you have to, like, when you're writing television, you got to see what's working.
Glenn, who was in
the
booking room with you? Who was in there with it? It wasn't just you.
No. It was Vince and Ed.
Yeah.
Terry Taylor.
Yeah.
And Borash and Bill Banks would Bill Banks would say like 2 words a week.
Who'd Bill Banks ever beat? Who'd Bill Banks ever beat in this business, and where did Borash ever draw a dime? Well, I got a question for you. To what extent giving that group of people the keys to the castle for booking is akin to handing a chimpanzee a loaded AK-47? What do you think?
There's different ways you could look at it. From being in a booking room and working with Jeff and Dutch, working with Vince, working with them, and seeing other bookers having conversations with them. The one thing I have to give that people don't understand is that when we would sit in the meetings with Vince was trying to come up with stories for everybody on the show.
That's one of the problems.
Okay.
That's one of the problems.
Well, how?
Because to use a Jerry Jarrett line, how about try to get one person over instead of trying to get everyone
Look
over?
at the boom in the business. When Hulk Hogan got hot, everybody made money because they focused on one main program and it got over. When Steve Austin got hot, everyone made money. When you try to do angles for everybody, it clusters your show. You have too many segments. And furthermore, and this is another thing that I actually discussed on a Jim Cornette show once, that if every single person on the roster is in angles, you can't step anybody up to be the new main event angle because we've already seen him in 15 angles. There's something about keeping people simmered on a back burner where you just have them get wins. They're not involved in angles. You just keep them strong so that when your top program needs something fresh, there's something fresh. When every single person on the show has angles, it overshadows everything else and nothing stands out.
I would agree with that if the show was a standalone show. But you had a show on another channel that's going on at the same time, and people are holding a remote control in their hands. So, you can't just, sit there and say, okay, I'm going to book this show. But again, you have to sit there and look and say, there's another show on, and if our show's not good, and if this segment if 2 people come out of this segment that are not over or don't have a story.
Busy is not good. That's what you miss. Viagra on a pole is not good. Judy Bagwell on a pole is not good. It's angles, it's stuff, it's ideas. None of it's any good. You put good matches on, and you get a couple of hot angles. Is even when WCW took off, it took off with one good hot angle that was focused, the NWO. It wasn't with 47 different angles on a show.
And then what happened?
When it got to 47 angles on the show, it went out of business.
Here's the thing I would disagree. Okay, you could say that it's easy to say if the writing is not good. Okay, and the writing is judged based on how many people are watching your show. So
no, it's not. Writing is judged by how much money you make. It's a business.
Well, you're going to make money. The more you're going to make,
ratings
more,
are a pissing contest. More people watch your show.
Yeah, but this is common sense. The more people that are watching your show, the more money you're going to make.
Only if those people are willing to pay for the product. Look at TNA.
Exactly.
TNA, when people stopped buying pay-per-view, they got in financial trouble. In WCW, when they weren't making any television rights fees, ratings didn't generate their money. Even though they were drawing millions of fans, no one was paying for the product. No one made money. That's the issue. You got to remember this is a business. It's not a pissing contest over my rating. My segment got good ratings. It's good writing. No, it's not. It's got to draw money. It's got to sell.
But one is that's the thing. We talk about drawing money. One is drawing money. If you have more people, if you have one show is doing a 5.0 and the other show is doing a 2.2, okay, the show that with the 5.0 is obviously going to be drawing more money because more people are going to be buying the pay-per-views. The show with the 2.2 is not because you don't have as many people buy the pay-per-views.
TNA. When Scott D'Amore was booking TNA and they had crap, Sportsnet channel Fox Sports TV with no ratings, they were drawing more money on pay-per-view than you did at the end when they had 1.5 million viewers on Spike. Now, they had income because they were getting paid for the show for Spike, but WCW wasn't getting paid for their television ratings. So you have to draw money. Just because people will watch for free does not mean they're paying for the product. And you've got to look at financial numbers. And if you're not making money, it's not good writing.
Okay, I'll agree with that. But I will say this. Will we agree that the chances of your show not drawing as much money the chance of show not drawing money will increase with the decrease of your audience?
There is potential for that, yes.
Okay. Well, then we'll just agree on that then.
So you would agree then that some of the bad booking ideas of you and your cohorts at the end probably led to a large decrease in business, which led to the company going out of business?
I would say that the company probably
if you had done a better job, possibly the company could have turned around and stayed in business.
Absolutely.
So basically, you're responsible because you guys were not competent at your jobs. Because if you had been, you just admitted that they would have stayed in business potentially. So
no. But first of all, there was a lot of people. Everybody would share the responsibility.
Yes, but you're one of those people that share. We're not saying you alone, but you were part of the team that was responsible for not doing a good enough job to bring the audience back and draw more money.
Yes, absolutely.
You basically would agree that although it's not totally your fault, you're 1/5 to blame because there's 5 of you in that room. Does that keep you up at night at all? Do you go, I'm 20% responsible for creating a monopoly that when you look other guys in the eye, do you go, if it weren't for me and the other 4, you guys would all be making more money right now because there'd still be competition? Like, do you think about that at all?
Absolutely not. I will say that now it's time, because we've been on the show, we've had an interesting discussion, philosophical discussion, okay, on WCW and everything, on the Kenny Omega match, on the Wrestling Today. But I would like now for you to basically give me my apology that I've so wanted, that you so graciously said you would give me. That the other one wasn't sincere, but now it's time for you to apologize for all the foul things that you said about me. And let's leave this on a good note.
Yep, absolutely, Glenn. And I think it's a long time coming, and I think it's time to bury the hatchet. So I would just like to say,
hang on, Cyrus. Hang on before you get to that.
Oh.
We're pushed up against the break, the break in the middle of the show that we've got to take for podcast 1. So if you can just sit tight for a quick minute, Disco, we're going to take this break so podcast 1 can insert their buffers and so forth, and we'll get back to you in a second.
All
right, sit tight.
And now back to Killing the Town.
All right, we're back, but unfortunately, in the break, we lost Disco. I don't know what happened. I tried to reconnect with him, but couldn't. So unfortunately, Cyrus, it looks like your apology is going to have to wait.
Well, that's a shame. I don't know what to say. I mean, we had him, and then it's like he hung up on us. It's actually, I find that kind of rude, don't you?
If he actually hung up, that's quite unprofessional. Yeah, we were ready to wrap up and deliver the apology that he wanted so much, and now he's not going to get it.